passa sem sair da cidade. Uma paragem de comboio, 6 minutos de trajeto. 6 minutos de travessia, passando por prédios, terrenos baldios, hortas, prédios de novo, pontes, coloridas ou não, gramados extensos, matas urbanas e mais conjuntos de prédios. Minhas expectativas e devaneios filtrados pelos vidros dos comboios.
Paints a beautiful picture. It's so simple in its concept and just so elegant in its execution that I think it really is larger than the sum of its parts. There's just some great photography, great narration, and shots that feel like they really mean something and are really capturing a moment in time. And yeah, it just all comes together really well.
Beautiful cinematography. It was at some point like kind of sad to see all these places that are empty and foggy, and it gave a sense of loneliness, but it was so beautiful. They were beautifully shot, and the script was lovely with this language that's also so nice to hear, the Portuguese. It was simply amazing. I really enjoyed it.
I totally love the idea of this film, the juxtaposition between the narrative and the still images, and the fact that it's all about change, a chronicle of people's history.
Had your focused attention to see where it was going, which really was part of this journey of the train. And the train totally took me back to my childhood and taking the train to Mexico City. And I love the sound with the still photography. Just really, really neat. I've seen this in a couple films. I really like this. And just the story of change and the sadness of it, but it moves you, and it's a reality of what these people were going through, and it takes you there to understand their loss without even meeting them, without even seeing their picture or knowing their name. And that's a good storyteller. I really appreciate the beauty of this film.
Voice narrator over still photography, which was done so effortlessly and so seamlessly that honestly I didn't even really notice that it was still photography until maybe like a minute or so in. It was just done so well, and it definitely did not detract from the film overall. The second thing I really liked was the getting to hear the stories from the older women, hearing about their past and what they did in their lives, but also with the development of the city now and the construction that's going on, also how that's affecting them. I feel like this film had a lot of different storylines and really evocative imagery that really helped keep us focused and keep us like tuned in. So I thought it was really interesting. It was really unique and very well done.
The technique of using still pictures with a voiceover is very strong. We're able to see what the narrator is talking about while also focusing on the voice that we're hearing. It's an amazing journey to go along with her and hear as she tells us all of these different stories, specifically the stories about her meeting and interacting with different older women. It makes us interested to learn more about her, and it keeps us engaged and on the edge of our seat the entire time.
The storyline was simple, as in it was relatable to all, with the general premise that all things change over time, but also complex because the photographer took the stories of the elderly persons who lived there, which she met in the cafe, and also translated their stories through photography. And I like that the graffiti on the train was a focus during the introduction, and combined with the commentary, which made the piece colorful. And what also made the doc colorful was the casual nature in which the women discussed death. Like kind of fighting over who would go first, and it's such a, I guess, elderly thing to do.
A kind of generational issue ongoing in Portugal, what some may call a kind of gentrification. This documentarian speaks to several elderly people in this small neighborhood in Portugal and is learning from them how this area used to be, how it's changing and evolving. There are skyscrapers being built every day, buildings being bought with uncertain futures for their tenants, and yet these people still show an affection for their homes, for these places that were once familiar to them, though becoming now unfamiliar. And the most somber part is how they disassociate themselves from having anything to do with the future. That they will be a part of this place as it evolves and changes. Their attitudes very much is that they will be held back. And I think that is something that is felt across the world in many places where these kinds of, again, gentrification and so-called technological advances and architectural advances are being implemented. I think it to a certain extent leaves a lot of people feeling disassociated and detached from their homes and their communities. And I think this brings it to light very well using fantastic photographs that really capture the atmosphere and aura of this locale. So very well done.